Hi everyone, my name is Marcela, and in today's recipe we're going to be making sourdough starter. The ingredients for the starter are flour, water, and with this starter we used grapes, but this is just optional. You don't really need to have grapes. You will also need to have some containers, a balance, and a thermometer. Okay, so let's say you make your starter on day 1. To make your starter, we mix equal amounts of flour and water, so 1 to 1. We mix 120 grams of flour and 120 grams of water. And we give it a good mix, and in my case, I added grapes, and then I give another good mix, and I placed it into a warm area. Some people would like to put it on the top of the fridge, but we like to keep it in the room next to our water boiler, which is normally 25 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Another good option also is to put it in the oven with only the oven light on. This is also about 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we go now at day 2. As you can see in the picture, after 24 hours, it has puffed up. If nothing has happened, put it back and leave it until you see that it has come alive. At this point, we transfer into a new container 120 grams of the starter without the grapes, and we add 120 grams of flour and 120 grams of water. We give it a good mix and we put it back in a warm place. Okay, we go now to day 3. Here we can see that the starter did not grow, but it did have small bubbles in it, showing that it's still alive. So don't worry if this happened to you during the first week. A suggestion is that you add a bit extra flour. In our case, we added 1 tablespoon of flour, and we give it a good mix, and then we kept it for several hours inside the oven with the light on. 24 hours after adding that little bit of flour, we saw that the culture has doubled in size and is very active. So at this point we feed again the starter, and so we go again back, and in a new container we transfer again 1 to 1 to 1, so 120 grams of starter, 120 grams of water, and 120 grams of flour. We give it a good mix and we put it back in a warm place. You need to feed your starter daily, and then by the day 5 or 6 it should be ready to go. You can start baking bread now. If this does not happen to yours, it's okay, no panic. Give it a couple more days for your starter to grow. If they do grow in volume but not as quick as much, but you still see the bubbles, then it's also fine. Your starter is alive and active. Keep feeding it and be patient. So how do you maintain your starter? Once you have an active starter ready to make bread, you can use the amount you need, and always keep some to start a new one, and keep the same rule, 1 to 1 to 1 of starter, flour and water. We transfer ours to a glass container and keep it in the fridge until the next baking time. You can keep it in the fridge for weeks, but keep feeding it once a week if you're not planning on baking. If you want to take a break for baking, you can keep a portion in the freezer. Yes, no problem, nothing will happen. You can also dry your starter by spreading a thin layer on parchment paper and let it dry at room temperature until it's completely dry. Break it into pieces and keep it in an airtight container for months. If your starter is growing very fast, you mix it again to remove some bubbles. I'm gonna add some links of videos using sourdough starter in the description below. I hope you enjoy growing some microbes. Good luck and happy baking! See you next time! Bye bye! Adios!